So I have to confess, I had never heard of it before. And I wasn't born yesterday. I'm a girl from the 70s, the 60s. We won't talk about the 50s. Never heard of black dandyism. Have you ever heard of black dandyism? I have not, but it's a powerful cultural movement historically tied to black men that has used fashion as a form of resistance and self-expression. Now, while it has primarily been associated with men, the influence of black dandyism extends beyond gender. Black women have also embraced similar principles of fashion, pride, and cultural reclamation in their own ways. So in 2025, this movement made a major splash at the Met Gala, proving that it's not just a historical trend, but a thriving force in fashion today. But what exactly is black dandyism, and why is it becoming such a celebrated symbol? Stick around, because I think we can unravel this history, its connection to the Met Gala, and why it's causing such a buzz this year. And also, I'd like you to stay tuned, because in part 2, I am going to go a little bit more in depth and look into how black women have also contributed to this very same movement with their own expressions of style and resistance. So black dandyism is much more than a fashion style. It's a movement that has historically been rooted in self-expression, resilience, and resistance. Now, it began in the 19th century, where black men, particularly here in the United States and parts of Europe, began to use fashion as a form of reclaiming their power. Now, during an era where black people were largely disenfranchised and oppressed and marginalized, the act of donning sophisticated attire, tailored suits, cravats, pocket watches, and elegant hats was not just a fashion statement, it was an act of defiance. So in the antebellum South, enslaved black men, even if forbidden to access wealth or privilege, created their own version of dandyism by turning simple items into symbols of wealth and success and social resistance. They began challenging the notion that they were to be seen as anything less than dignified. Now, this was particularly evident in the way they dressed for church and social gatherings or other moments of public visibility, showing the world that they could exist in defiance of their circumstances and yet maintain a sense of dignity and style. Now, the dandy aesthetic came from figures like Beau Brummel in the European context, but for black men, it became a symbol of resistance against the oppressive systems that sought to strip them of their humanity. So fast forward to the 20th century, and black dandyism became an essential part of the Harlem Renaissance in the 1920s, where figures like Langston Hughes and James Baldwin wore sharp suits, suspenders, and polished shoes, rejecting the idea that black culture was only about folk dress or manual labor. They adopted this polished, sophisticated style as a clear rejection of the racial prejudice and the inequality of their time, and as a way of building a visual narrative that was all about cultural pride, intellectualism, and self-respect. It was a period where fashion wasn't just about aesthetics, but about showing the world that black culture was worthy of being celebrated on every platform. So today, black dandyism remains a bridge between historical activism and modern fashion. It also stands as a visual and cultural celebration of black excellence. Now, it speaks to the story of black folks using style as a shield, a way to both assert their dignity and to challenge stereotypes. Now, this movement is alive and thriving today, not just among older generations, but with younger ones who also continue to challenge the status quo of fashion by leaning into dandy-inspired looks, suave, bold, and with an undeniable edge. So the 2025 Met Gala was the perfect setting for Black dandyism to come into full view. Now, this theme this year may have been open to interpretation, but the presence of dandy-inspired fashion made a powerful statement about how the Met Gala is no longer just about European-inspired couture or the standard interpretations of high fashion. It's a place where diverse cultural expressions are showcased and celebrated, and the Black dandy influence at the gala could be seen through the use of intricate tailoring, oversized hats, pops of color, and accessories that represented the multifaceted nature of Black identity. Now, whether it was a tailored suit in pastel pink or a statement blazer adorned with pearls, attendees were channeling the legacy of Black dandyism in a bold and unapologetic way. What makes Black dandyism even more powerful today is how it's not just about fashion as a standalone aesthetic. It's about reclaiming the narrative power and influencing the future. It speaks directly to the tension between historical oppression and modern freedom. Now, as Black dandyism enters the mainstream, it also challenges the world to rethink what it means to be elegant and polished. It says that the elegance we have historically associated with wealth and power can and should be available to everyone, regardless of race or background. By blending history with the modern day, the Black dandy continues to evolve, particularly in the fashion world. It's both a form of cultural reclamation and a deliberate act of crafting new narratives of Black identity. Now, whether through streetwear couture or Black dandyism, it's more than just an aesthetic. It's a cultural rebellion that continues to push boundaries and pave the way for the future of fashion and activism. And the resurgence of Black dandyism at the Met Gala this year was an invitation to reconsider what high fashion truly means. No longer reserved solely for the elite, Black dandyism embraces the idea that anyone, regardless of their background, can embody elegance, grace, and most importantly, a resistance to the confines of traditional beauty standards. What's your take on Black dandyism and its powerful appearance at the 2025 Met Gala this year? Did the fashion choices leave you in awe, or were you unfamiliar with this cultural movement, as I was? Whether you are just learning about it or have been following it for years, one thing is clear. Black dandyism, it's here to stay, making its mark in history. And remember, don't forget, Part 2 of this discussion, I'm going to be back to explore how Black women, again, have contributed to this movement as well, using fashion to make bold statements on their own. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so that you don't miss Part 2. You don't want to miss the full picture of Black dandyism and its evolution. So until next time, thank you for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one.